What's up, y'all? It's Mma Analyst here to do my recap for UFC 112. Let's skip all the what-ups and let's just get right down to it. Main event, Anderson Silva versus Demian Maia. First 2 rounds, masterful performance. Anderson Silva went out there. A lot of people say he acted like an ass. Hey, like I said, I don't care. What I was watching in those first 2 rounds was the MMA equivalent of dunking in basketball in the 70s. You know what I mean? People weren't doing it. And when people started dunking, they probably like, I don't really like how these guys are putting the ball into the hoop and touching the rim. We shouldn't be able to do that. We should continue to let the ball leave our hands before it goes inside the net. And eventually people realized that we were dealing with something different at the time. I wasn't around then, but obviously that's what happened. It stuck around. It's still here. People love dunking. That's what we're watching. We're watching the first dunks. After the first 2 rounds, though, not cool. Damn. I think everybody was pretty much positive that Anderson Silva could have finished this fight at any given time. A lot of people obviously were not a big fan of what he was doing after the first 2 rounds. I mean, for sure, the first 2 rounds, you had some people like myself who were like, yeah, go for it, do your thing. Just make sure you don't, oh, damn, he's doing it again. And 3rd round, he basically, stopped fighting from what I see. From what I noticed, the fighting was done. And it was more like, like staying there till the time's up. That's not really cool. But I think this is where we get into a little bit of a, what are we watching here? Are we watching a sport or are we watching sports entertainment? I want to believe we're watching a sport, which means if a guy wants to go out there and win in his sport, then he has the right to do whatever he wants. If it's a sport that we have to pay for, then it's our decision to decide whether or not we are going to support that athlete's actions inside the cage or wherever the athlete's game is played. So, Tiger Woods goes out, sleeps with 48 girls, acts like a damn fool. People now say, do I want to support that guy? You know what I mean? Michael Vick goes around, killing dogs, acting a fool, goes to jail, comes out. People say, do I want to support that guy? Ocho Cinco acts a damn fool, and people say, do I want to support that guy? Terrell Owens, do I want to support that guy? Barry Bonds, caught for steroids. Do I want to support that guy? Anderson Silva. I guess against all those crazy things, deciding to not murder somebody inside the cage is probably not that bad of a thing. He still won the fight. It's not like he threw the fight. He didn't do anything illegal. I was not a fan of rounds 3, 4, or 5. I was a huge fan of rounds 1 and 2. All the little mental games he was playing, the stuff he was saying in Brazil. Supposedly he was saying, where's your jiu-jitsu now? He was supposedly saying all types of craziness. Hit me in the face and all the little come get me and all that stuff. I mean, maybe, call me what you want to call me, but I liked all that foolishness. As long as you're a talented athlete who wants to showcase your skill and at the same time do some flashy dumb stuff, I'm for it. You can't be a loser and do that, you know what I mean? But when it comes down to it, he stopped doing that. He stopped doing everything. He just stood there and just didn't lose. And, that's up for everybody out there. Do you want to support that? The next UFC that Anderson Silva is fighting on, I will watch it. If I have to purchase it because that's the only way to watch it, I'll purchase it. I have no problems with Anderson Silva, being a headliner. I have no issues with it. A lot of people do. And if you do have that problem, don't pay for Anderson Silva. But what you can't do is get angry with Anderson Silva like as the president and go into his corner. I mean, if this was boxing and if this is in the United States, Dana White will get fined because that would be considered a promoter trying to affect the outcome of a professional athletic event. You're going to the corner of a fighter and saying, "What the F is your guy doing? Da 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 da. Here, he said, here's the belt. You put it on him. I'm not going to." And he got upset and he stormed out and he refused to watch the rest of the fight because Anderson wasn't making it exciting. He wasn't doing what the promoter wanted him to do. That in boxing and in any normal sport is illegal. That's just the promoter. But if you're the promoter and 10% owner of the company, a CEO, the president, and you go over into the corner of a fight, what the F is your guy doing? And then the guy goes, "Oh man, I'm so worried about what the promoter thinks. I'm going to go out there and turn it up." And then he gets ass kicked or something like that. Then they go, "Yo, this wouldn't have happened potentially if that damn promoter would have kept his meddling ass out of the sport." He's supposed to put the fights on. He's not supposed to be, if you want to be able to control the way fights go, I would suggest taking Vince McMahon's job. Or maybe Shane McMahon's job. I don't really know who runs that anymore. But the point is, it's a sport that we choose whether or not we're going to support different guys. That's why every UFC doesn't have the same equal amount of pay-per-view buys. Some have 1 million. Some have 500,000. And why is it? It's based on who's on the card. When Brock Lesnar's fighting, lots of pay-per-views. When Chuck Liddell's fighting, maybe there used to be. I don't know now, but whatever. It's based on the fighters. So, what do I think? I think Anderson Silva needs to go to light heavyweight. You know what I mean? This is what happens every time you send him somebody that doesn't deserve to be in there with him. He plays around with them and he goes home. He gets his time. He didn't train for 3 months to fly over to Abu Dhabi to go out there and Mike Tyson somebody. To be like, pop, 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 I'm done. That's not what he went out there for. He went out there to try and fight, to try and be challenged. So if lightweight or if middleweight isn't giving him a challenge, then put him in at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? Give him what he wants. He's not going to put his hands down like that against Rampage. He's not going to play around with Shogun. He's not going to put his hands down against Rashad or John Jones. I think he might beat most of those guys, but he sure as hell isn't going to toy with them. And those guys aren't going to be afraid of him. So put him out there with some of these good-ass fighters and, let him fight. And you won't have this issue anymore. He wants to fight Brock Lesnar. That's kind of a big step. I don't mean in talent-wise. I just mean in size. Go fight a bunch of light heavyweights. Forget about middleweight. You know what I mean? People, I want to see Sonnen beat. Come on, man. Sonnen will get raped. So leave that alone. I would like to see it just to see Sonnen get jawed up. And, who else? Vitor Belfort. That's a good fight. It can happen at 205 too. I don't know if Vitor Belfort's fighting at 205, but whatever. The point is, 185's done. They let go of Dan Henderson, or at least they didn't continue his contract. So they let the best middleweight they have outside of Anderson Silva slip out of their fingers. Now he's fighting for free next week. Meanwhile, they're picking up Kimbo Slice. That's your decision. Now you got to deal with it. I'm not angry with Anderson Silva for wanting to get a win. What do you want me to say? Damian Maia, he showed a lot of heart, punching off his knees. That was crazy. Make a gif of that and just put heart at the bottom. Got heart or whatever. So I can't get mad at this fight. I wasn't happy with what happened. I would have liked to see a more definitive ending. But it's a sport. And it's a sport that I like. And I recognize that we can't get everything we want in the sport. It is what it is. All right, BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar. I'll keep this short. Frankie Edgar, wow, this dude came out and really put up a fight. Did he win 50 to 45? I don't think so. Did he win the fight? It's a close one. This is not a robbery for anybody, you know. Frank Edgar was done the fight. His corner thought he won. They all had their hands up. BJ Penn, he wasn't cheering. He wasn't, you know what I mean? When the announcement was made, he turned immediately to Frank Edgar. He was ready for this. This was no Shogun Machida surprise. Oh my God, I thought I won the fight. Dana White, you know, Dana White was like in the background smiling. He knew what was going to happen next. Frankie Edgar's corner was saying, you know, man, you're the new champ. This was no surprise. To a lot of the guys blogging, it appeared to be a surprise, and to a lot of the viewers, it was a surprise. But to the people in the cage, and to the people close to the cage, and the people surrounding the cage, to the audience, you know, nobody boo. Oh, boo! It's just, you know. So it was a close fight. It was a fight that Frank Edgar actually edged out the victory. Did he beat the champion in order to be the champion? Absolutely not. And you don't have to. I don't want to keep going back to that other fight where people keep throwing out stupid slogans. But he didn't have to beat the champion to be the champion. And I'm just going to say it again. You know, Forrest Griffin didn't have to beat the champion to be the champion when he beat Rampage. Actually, he beat him with leg kicks. But let's leave that alone. BJ Penn, he didn't look the same. But I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from Frank Edgar. His striking was great. He was always moving. Looked like he was ready to go another 5 rounds. Mad props to Frank Edgar. What happens next? You know, Gray Maynard fights somebody for, you know, Gray Maynard should fight, I don't know, you know, like maybe Florian or something like that. Winner gets the title shot. That sounds good to me. BJ Penn, you know, put BJ Penn up against another tough opponent and see what happens. I hope. Obviously, he's not going to 170. Oh, yeah, by the way, I don't give a damn about Anderson Silva going to 170. When you got a guy who's beating everybody at 205, and he might even be good enough to be a 205 champion, I don't care about him fighting anybody at 170, even if it is the best guy at 170 in the world. So, up, not down, up. Matt Hughes versus Renzo Gracie. Come on, guys. We all knew this. You know, everybody kind of wanted, you know, Renzo Gracie to pull off something. Excuse me. But he was brought in here to lose. He was brought in here because he was popular in Abu Dhabi. He had a good relationship with, you know, with the prince or whoever runs Abu Dhabi. He hadn't fought in 3 years. You know, he had a 3-fight winning streak against other aging MMA fighters, and then was 1-6 before that. I mean, you know what I mean? He's very one-dimensional. Jiu-jitsu, no problems being Gracie in jiu-jitsu. That's what you are. You try and do some MMA, but you know what I mean? He was not prepared, skill-wise, to come in here and fight with Matt Hughes. Did I think he'd get his legs cut from under him from Matt Hughes kicks? Absolutely not. But the reality is, Matt Hughes was given Renzo Gracie for another name victory. They are not going to put Matt Hughes out there against, you know, John Jones. John Fitch. Not anymore. No more Thiago Alvez's, and you know they're not going to put him out there against GSP again. Obviously, he's not going to get a title shot, and then he's not going to go out there against Rumble Johnson. You know, they're going to get older guys. They're going to sign old guys, bring them in. Hughes fight him. Most likely beat him up and then release old guys. And that's what's going to happen. No disrespect to Renzo Gracie, but it was all hopes. People wanted him to win because he's a nice guy, and, you know, Hughes doesn't have the most, you know, fan-friendly appearance from, you know, stuff that he's done and stuff that he put in his own book and his attitude in general, but it is what it is. This was no surprise. Terry Edom versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Awesome fight. Basically, Dos Anjos gets the win. Superior grappler, and took it to him in that second round. First round went to Terry Edom, but, you know, Dos Anjos did his thing. Congratulations, got a submission of the night. If you ever go somewhere like Abu Dhabi, you want to definitely get that submission or something. They got $75,000 extra dollars. I think that's the second highest, the highest ever for a bonus was 100,000 for UFC 100. So you want to do that. Pick your times to get submission of the night, guys. Don't do it on fight night and get an extra 25,000. I'm just saying. Well, if you can do it both times, then cool. Anyways, Mark Munoz went through hell. He went through hell to get that round 2 victory. Mad props to him. Kendall Grove's chin just not... With the combination of Mark Munoz actually hitting very hard and Kendall Grove's chin not being very good, that's not a good combination. He really needed to just keep that chin completely out of danger for the entire fight. That is difficult for anybody to do against anybody who has any striking ability. So, unfortunately for Kendall Grove, he wasn't able to, get that win. And, there you have it. He got touched. That's what it is. It comes down to some guys. If you get touched, you're probably going to go out. And he got touched by a strong Filipino. But yeah, I think I went 7-3. Undercard, John Madsen beat Mustafa Al Turk. We didn't get to see that. Paul Kelly beat Matt Veach by submission, guillotine choke. Demarcus Johnson got a TKO over Brad Blackburn. Supposedly, he kind of got beat up a bit because it's not really a play-by-play anywhere. And also, they kind of don't have the video up. So, supposedly, in his interview, he was like, I let Brad Blackburn beat me up and tire himself out. I don't know. Maybe he's don't do the Nogueira forever, though. You're not Nogueira. Rick Story beat Nick Oshistek. And Phil Davis did his thing in his pink tights and I love you, mom, pink mouthpiece. I'm going to be back on here. But pretty much, guys, I've decided all the, official dudes, you know what I mean? They don't put these predictions out months early and stuff like that. They do it with 2 days left in due time, you know what I mean? So I think that's what I'm going to do. About 2 days before the fights, that's when I put the predictions up. I like it. I'm not worried really about I need to get all these viewers. I need each thing to get 6,000 views or something. If you put it up earlier, more people will see it. I understand that, but I'm not really worried about that. Putting it up 2 days before the fight every time. I'm going to try and do the Bellator, guys, but I don't know if I'm really going to get around to it. But watch it, though. If you got Fox Sports Net, I think that what is. Yeah, if you got that, then watch it. Damn, I think they're doing the highlights right now. Shoot, I missed it. MMA, y'all. It's important. Peace.